Hi everybody, this is my first video. I'm Kisha Hans. Hope we have time to enjoy together. So I'm gonna download the video. Actually, I'm gonna talk about something. I'm gonna talk about life. I'm gonna talk about my life, okay? So if anyone there can relate to my life, you're welcome to join so we can enjoy or make each other feel better in some way or another. Okay, life is really hard. I've tried a lot of things, okay, but there's no way you know or you guarantee that this is gonna work out. Everything we do in life, we just try. So whatever works out, that's what you go through with. Okay, so what I mean is, it's really not easy to live life. As I was saying, that life is really not easy. To tell the truth, sometimes, most of the times, I really hate life, okay? I feel like I ask myself why I'm alive. What's the purpose of my living? Why God has kept me alive, okay? Sometimes I quarrel with myself, I quarrel with God. I'm like, if you kept me alive, at least you should be there and support me in everything I do. I feel like sometimes, most of the times, Lord, I feel like He neglects me. Like, I feel like I'm all alone. Okay, I know that's not true. Okay, I know God is always there to help us, but it takes a lot of faith and belief to understand God's ways, how He protects His people. Okay, I've had such a hard life, like my entire life. I don't even know where to start, but before I didn't even realize God was in my life. Okay, I started hardship at a very young age. I remember when I was still young. Okay, I'm a boy with this, but you'll understand where I'm coming from. Okay, I remember when I was still young. I think I went to live with my auntie at I was around 5 years. Since then, I understood what life really is, and I understood that there's nothing free in this life, okay? If you're out there and you think like you have dreams, okay, and someone else will help you fulfill those dreams, oh hell no, you're on your own, okay? You have to get your ass up and do the things you want to do, okay? No one is gonna help you, even our own relatives, okay? They don't give a shit. Okay, they'll wake up one day when you're successful and you have something they never expected you to have. That's when they realize that you are worth something. You know, parents give birth to us, they give birth to us, okay, but your parent is not going to be there all the time, okay? So they give birth to us, like, but other people sometimes are the ones to raise us, okay? I grew up with my grandmother, but before I went to my grandmother, I lived with my auntie, okay? She's a very beautiful woman and lovely. She had it, I feel like, in my life, I think she's the most luckiest of all, okay, in one way or another. So I went to live with her. She had a daughter, very beautiful daughter, by the way. So I was like 5 years. She took me to her house. I was young, but I can still remember what went down when I was still there. To tell the truth, I don't know if I was happy or sad, because I got beaten up like every day. Like literally, like everything you do wrong, you get beat up. Okay, you get beaten up. I remember like every mistake I made in my life, I always got punished for it. Not with words, sweetie. No, slaps, canes, in any way you'd understand what she means, she will use it, okay? So when a person is in control of you, like me, when I was very young, she did whatever she wanted with me. Actually, I'm not complaining, that thanks to her, now I know what life really is about, okay? I know that no one's gonna stand up for me. It's only me, myself, and God, okay? Which I believed him later, not before. So when I was young, I lived with my auntie. She had a very beautiful kid. So I went there like a babysitter. Actually, I didn't understand my role in that house. I was kind of a babysitter at the same time a maid, because I did all the work at home, even though I was young. I learned how to wash at a very young age. I learned how to cook at a very young age. Okay, so I started life real like early, and that developed my feelings very early. Like I didn't get to enjoy my childhood like other kids do. Like when other kids were playing, like they are outside playing with their friends. Me, I was busy either in the kitchen or I'm busy babysitting. Okay, so when you're babysitting, you have to be where the child is. And if a child wants to sleep, you're gonna sit around until she wakes up. And whatever she wants, that's what you will do. Okay, and that's what I did. That I had to take care of the child, and I had to take care of the home too, because my aunt usually went to work in the evening, early in the morning, the evening. So I was the one with the child at all times. Like at some times it felt like the child was she was mine more than her real mom. Like even when she cried, she would cry coming to me, not to her mother, because she knew me as someone like her mom. I was young, but I remember when I used to do a lot of things with her on my back. But I never complained about that because I loved that kid. Like she was the silver lining with like in all the pain I went through then. She was like the medicine. Like, every time I looked at her, I felt like, you know what, I can do this. I have someone, like I'm standing up for someone right now, and I have someone who's counting on me. Okay, so that kid, I was more of her mother than her real mom actually, because most of the times whatever she wanted, it's me. So I knew what she wanted and what she didn't want. I knew the time she wakes up, the time she goes to bed, what she wants to do, everything. I did it for her. But I had to do a lot of other work at a very young age. Then every mistake she made, I was the one to be punished for it because she was under my care, she was my responsibility. So even though I got beat up very much, like every day or twice a day, it was all, at the end of the day, it was all worth it because she was there. Every time I looked at her and she smiled at me or she came hugging me, she came to hug me, I calmed down, okay, then wait for another day. So they were actually, by then they were, no, they were just struggling, surviving, but they were not poor either. So we were in the village, but they were like the village rich people. So the child got to enjoy a lot of things, good things. She had to go to the city, come back, go to the city, come back. So she kept me company when I was really sad. Then, like I did a lot of work. I carried jerrycans of water, okay. But before that, before when I was experiencing all those things, I didn't feel any. Like time came when I was numb. Like my body didn't feel any pain, okay. I didn't care about anything else, okay. But what I didn't know is I got traumatized from all the things that I went through, the pain, the cane, like the beatings every day, yelling. Now that I'm a grown-up woman, I see how those things are reflecting on me. Like the words you say to a child, she may not understand that, but when someone else says it to her later, you'll understand. She will understand what you meant before, and it will hurt because now she has the feelings have grown. She can understand what you mean, okay? Before, all the things that were taught to me, I didn't understand them and I didn't care, okay? But now that I've grown up, when someone tells me the same things, I really get angry because it hurts, okay? That's when I grew up, I realized how belittled I was. Like, they saw me as a worthless person, like as a worker. I felt like I was never loved before when I grew up. When I was doing all the things I did it because I wanted to, and I loved the family because they were my relatives. But if you ask me now if I go to the same person, to that same person, if I had a choice, I'll say no. Because I wouldn't want my child to go through what I went through. Not being appreciated. I may not have been, I might have not done a lot of good things, but the good things I did, they were worth some praise, okay? But I didn't get that. You do a lot of good and you do a mistake and you end up punished for everything, okay? So, as I was saying, I got beat up a lot, okay? And my relative was a very, very jealous woman. She was very jealous of her husband. But since her husband had some money, he was a very desirable person. Okay, so there were a lot of women who were eyeing him. But I was young, so I just saw things and talk about it normally. I didn't know the effect they will have, okay? Because I was young. And since I knew I was going to be judged for everything I say, like for everything I do, I had to make sure to choose the side to be on. So I had to be on the side of my relative than her husband, okay? So I remember one day my relative told me to go because they had a shop at the village in the village. So she told me to go and see if there is any lady at the shop, like maybe her husband is with someone. I knew if I didn't give back any news, I'll get beaten very hard. So what I did, I went. And when I went, actually I didn't see anything this time around. I didn't see anything. It was a normal day, normal customers at the shop. But when I came back at home, I said I saw a woman with my brother-in-law. Okay, so that caused a lot of riot. Okay, that's the day I left my auntie's place. Because the way I was beaten, I almost fainted. I almost died because the man beat me up. Because when the man came back at home, the woman started quarreling. She blew up, started quarreling, throwing things. And the man was like, no. I didn't do anything. I wasn't with anyone. It was working, okay? Who told you those kind of things? And I said, she told him that it was me who said that I saw what? The things. So that they shifted the entire blame from the man, from the woman. Like the man didn't get angry with his wife, but he got angry with me. So the man started beating me so hard. He beat me every time he saw me. Every time he looked at me, he started beating me. So he started beating me at night. At night. Then until my aunt locked me up in the room to make sure the man will not reach me. So when my auntie locked me up in the room, the man like calmed down for a few minutes. But early in the morning as I woke up, like I thought everything was cool again. I'm gonna start a normal day like I used to, because I used to get beat up and wake up normal, like it's okay. It was for yesterday, but now it's okay. But then while I was crossing the hallway, because my room was across their room, so as I was crossing the hallway, the man saw me and got mad. So he went immediately to his room and got the cane he had brought for me. He started beating me everywhere so hard, like everything I touched. He didn't want me to touch anything. He was beating me every time he saw me. Every time he looked at me, he was beating me. So until my aunt felt like, you know what, they are going to kill you here. So what she did, when the man went to the bathroom, she collected small things, belongings of mine. Then she managed to sneak me out of the house. We went back. She took me back to my grandmother. I was very young, so she took me back to my grandmother, since I didn't grow up with my mom. My dad died when I was 1 year old. So my auntie took me back to my grandmother. There I started a new life, okay? But to tell the truth, she brought me even almost without clothes. I remember I entered a taxi without shoes, and people were looking at me like, what's going on here? But my aunt made sure I reached home, and when she put me home, she came back immediately. She didn't even stay for long, just came and told my grandmother, I brought her back, she's yours now, okay? I will not take her again. So that's how I left my auntie's place. Then I came back to my grandmother. I was young. So when I came back to my grandmother, I found my sisters and my brothers. I grew up with a lot of brothers. There are many, and actually I think in a way that The time I spent at home, we had a very hard life. Like you don't even know if you eat today, okay? But when you do whatever you get, you're happy. You eat whether there is no sauce or it is dry food or you take black tea. It was still all that was okay because we were together and we shared the same things. Whatever came home, our grandmother made sure that we take it together, okay? If you were going to sleep hungry, let it be. We were all going to sleep hungry. Not one person eating and another one doesn't. My grandmother made sure that whatever we have, we are going to sit down, all of us. We were very many actually. We grew up in a house like 20 people, but we were all grandchildren and with our grandmother and our grandfather. We didn't grow up, most of us didn't grow up with our mothers and fathers. So our fathers used to bring their kids from their mothers and put them up to bring them to our grandmother. So we grew up in that kind of life. It was really hard, but we were very happy. I sure remember those were the happiest times for me. I don't think I've ever been really happy since I left home. Okay? I don't remember because by then, before, we didn't have a lot. We had really small things, a little. We didn't have anything we can share with them. Like whatever you got was enough for only one person. But we were happy. We didn't have worries. We didn't have like before. I even didn't have any dreams. All I wanted was to be with my grandmother and my family. Okay? I don't care we didn't care about what we ate. We were always together. Okay? But growing up sometimes is really not good. Okay? The problem is we had to grow up. I went to school. I didn't even like studying that much because I don't know what to say. Maybe I didn't have the knowledge for books or I just didn't have the resources to study. Because when you know, like, when the reality is, even if I do this, like you have this thing in mind, like, I want to do this, but I can't do it because I can't afford it. It can't happen. Like, I want this, but I can't get it. I had a lot of dreams then. Okay? But because of the environment I grew up in, I had limited dreams. Okay? I didn't want to go beyond what my father can afford. Like, you know, for us, the brother of your father is your dad too, and he raised us. So I had limited dreams. I knew, okay, yes, I had dreams, but they were not that big. Okay, so I went to school. I went to school every day. I didn't want, but I started coping with the school every day, trying to get used to it, like trying to discover what I really wanted to be if I was to go beyond. But I couldn't find anything. It's true, not everybody who goes to school is because they want or they know what they want. Sometimes the school is just a place to grow up, to figure out things. Okay? You just need an environment where you can be alone, where you can be pushed maybe into thinking, into knowing what you really want to be. But I didn't find that at school either. It was a chaos. Like, school for me was an escape route or maybe a place where I can waste my time. Okay? I'm not saying I never wanted to study. I really wanted to. But because of the reality, because of the situation I was in, I knew since I was called a failure from a very young age, I came with that feeling that, you know what, I'm a failure. I don't have to try hard because I've already failed. No matter what I do, I won't amount to anything. Okay? So I went to school every day, pretending to go to school. It was a government school, so I went there. I did a lot of things. Okay? But school was kind of boring for me, but I'm very good at making friends. With my attitude and let's just say I'm crazy and I'm stubborn, very stubborn. So I made friends at school, from the headmaster to teach the teachers and the students. So me showing up at school was like a fun day for everyone. Okay, I went there, I enjoyed, but I was bullied when I went to senior one, I was really bullied. Okay, remember my best friend was a very very beautiful woman, beautiful girl. So everybody wanted her. So me, I was like, I don't know, because we used to work together. But all the cute guys at school, they were running after her. Okay, so everybody wanted to talk to her. Everybody wanted to be near her. I remember when I went to school, they used to come and push me off the table, off the desk, so they can sit with her. They won't even ask. They'll just push me. So at times I used to sit on bricks in what? In class. I could cry, but no one could help me. Okay. So until I realized that even my own best friend cannot stand up for me. Okay. I had to do things on my own. But then I had to keep going. I went through that. I would cry since I went in secondary. I started secondary when I was very, very young. And actually I was short. I'm a small person. I was short, okay? So people saw me as a kid, so they did whatever they wanted with me, okay? But then when I reached senior two, third term, that's when I realized that I had to stand up for myself. So what I did, I went the first day, okay? The first day, I went in front of the class and I stood on the table and I told everybody that whoever's been bullying me, you better stop, okay? Because I'm going to fight back. If anyone does anything, everything you have been doing to me, if you do it again, I'm going to fight back. And by then I'd started growing up, like starting to clean myself a little bit. I started becoming a beautiful woman, kinda, maybe not so much, but I was becoming attractive in some ways. So time came when all the men who were chasing after my best friend, they were coming to me. But I had a dream since I was small of the kind of man I wanted to be with, the kind of man I wanted to marry. Sounds crazy, but wait, okay? When you have lived a life like me, okay? A life of every day, seeing people fighting, eh? Seeing how men treat their wives, eh? How every day you survive. You start dreaming, you start to know what you don't want, the kind of man you don't want, and the kind of man you want, okay? And thanks to these movies, they have made us single. A lot of girls are single thanks to those movies, because we can't find those perfect men anywhere, okay? But I don't regret the choices I've made when it comes to me, okay? I had a dream of the kind of man I wanted to marry, which, by the way, I'm still waiting. It does not happen yet, as you can see, okay? But let me say this, life is very hard. It's really, really hard. It suffocates. There are times when you can't even get up from bed. You're exhausted. You feel like nobody cares anymore, whether you die or live. You feel like there is nothing to fight for. But no, keep going. Every day there is a miracle. If something happens every day, the problem is we never realize those things until they pass, okay? There are things I always wanted to do, but I realized that I got those things even before. So what I'm saying is, don't give up on life, okay? When I left my auntie's place, I thought nobody loved me. I didn't matter to anyone until I came to my grandmother and my family. Then I became a baby. That's when I realized I started enjoying my childhood. That's when I realized that I was a kid. I was still young, okay? I didn't have to put any responsibility on me. There were people who were going to work for me, okay? Like there was someone responsible for my well-being, okay? Before it was all about me, okay? But now, when I went to my grandmother, it felt like they are the ones responsible for me, so they did everything to make sure that I was okay, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, there are people in our lives that make us feel small, make us feel unworthy. They make us feel like we'll never be anything, okay? Maybe right now it's not true, but if you have a dream and you have hope and you believe, you have faith, things can change, okay? So what I'm saying is, school was not even good for me either, but at times it became better that I started controlling the same people who were bullying me, okay? I was in control of everybody, okay? I started picking up everything at school. I knew how to play these guys who wanted to play me, okay? because they did it with my best friend and they won because they managed to get her to drop out of school, okay, because she got pregnant. But me, I was the small one, but I was clever, okay. I knew that if I'm gonna go wrong about everything, I shouldn't go wrong about men, okay. It was really hard, but okay, I was saying is, okay, we are not going to go through my life in one day, okay? We still have a lot of time together, so I will keep on adding on, okay? But for now, as I close this video, I just want to say is, it's really, I know it's hard out there. There are a lot of girls who are going through the same pain. I'm going through what the pain I went through, okay? But let's not lose hope, okay? Things get better at times. There are people who are in the worse situations than us, okay? But they're still going, they're still struggling, okay? What we are now is someone else's prayer point. We may think that we are the bottom, okay? That we cannot be revived, but no. God loves us, okay? And God always has a plan for us. Things can happen anytime, as long as you have hope and have a good heart, okay? If like there are people when they go through hard life, they hate everything and everybody, and they become selfish. But no, at some point there is someone else who helped you in that situation. Maybe you forgot because of the situation you were in, okay? But it shouldn't be like that, okay? I'm gonna say is, see you tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow again. I hope you enjoy and watch, okay? I'll add on another video later, so I hope you everybody, there is someone who can relate to my life, okay? So peace, okay? Stay alive and believe in God. Things can change anytime, okay? Love you.